For our next Get Practical With session, we are proud to welcome Atos. Atos believes that providing citizens information at the right time will help address societal challenges and overcome the global challenges that we face. To do this, we need to treat the data we have and capture with great respect and collaborate to maximize its value. So Albert, your turn on stage.
Thank you, Jeannie. The opportunity to share some ideas and information on Atos, who we are, what we do. My name is Albert Seubers. I am leading our smart city or smart X or smart society, whatever you want to call it, strategy at global level. I've been doing this for the past 10, 12 years. I'm a member of the Atos scientific community, working on innovation and new technologies to master data and make sure that we can put a full trust in what we do with our IT solutions. And I'm a board member of a member of the board of directors of FIRE Foundation. There's Yasunori is as well. It was good to see him. First, a few words on our organization, Atos. I will not dive too deep in this, but it's just to show you who we are, where we are. We're a global company in 71 countries with over 100,000 employees, with an interesting revenue. But what more important is that we feel that we need to contribute and put all our efforts in digitalization and helping our clients to move into a fully decarbonized, secure digital world. And as such, we keep innovating our solutions and work with our customers to do this. As you already said to Jeannie, in that the value of data that we trust is of the utmost importance. Not sure why. Okay, this is what's happening. So in a nutshell, most people will know us from the fact that we are the worldwide IT partner for the Olympic and the Paralympic Games, where security is one of the main topics that we have to work on. Moreover, we work on certifications, we work on innovation, we spend a lot of money on innovation. This is why we are proud to become a member of the OISC, because we need standards, we need agreements, we need the interoperability mechanisms to treat data with the utmost respect, but also to allow and collaborate with cities across the world with similar technologies, even if we implement solutions in different regimes and different laws and maybe standards, but we need to work with cities across the world. So this is what we're trying to do. This is our position in the world. You can see we're trying to accommodate customers across the world. And our footprint or fingerprint, as you see in the picture, is a global one. Growing our business in what we call growing markets, so Saudi, the Emirates, Asia Pacific, Australia, been a long time positioned in North America and growing still, but mainly focused on Europe because that's our core. Looking at cities. There's different ways of looking at cities. We can look at the city as the physical city, the infrastructure, the buildings we just discussed, what's happening, how are they used, how are they performing. But it's also the dynamic city. We move into the city, walking, cycling, using cars. We move through cities in some countries, so traffic is an issue. But we're also a social city. We offer a place to work. We offer a place to entertain. Now with COVID, lots is closed. We are in a lockdown here in the Netherlands. But quality of life is based on culture and the entertainment that's offered. Next to, of course, healthy living conditions, working conditions, education opportunity. But these quality of life elements are also part of what we could call the physiological city. Air quality. How can we improve? How can we use natural cooling in cities? How can we reduce sound levels in cities? How can we avoid heat waves or recover from heat waves? All this is part of how we manage and operate the city, but also how we live in the city. And as in the opening statement by Jeannie, we need a societal change. It's not the city that needs to change. We need to change to fight and work and overcome the global challenges. And for this, we need to design the city that we can live in a way that we can do this. I always found this definition of a smart city by Rama Prasad and team very interesting. A data-driven city is able to sense and respond to its challenges using natural, very important, and artificial intelligence embedded in cities information systems. That means whatever we do with data and data analytics, it has to trigger our human mind to make decisions. And my version of that is that the data-driven is able to share right-time information with me, with us as citizens or the visitors, based on analysis of actual data to support our daily decisions and allow us to enhance our quality of life. In a nutshell, that is leading to what we're doing. And looking at data in a city, it's not just about the environment, it's about the environment. But the environment is directly impacted with how we transport, how we mobilize ourselves in the city, how we do logistics, how we organize that, get traffic. But traffic is impacting safety. Traffic is impacting our economy, and safety is impacting our economy. But we as citizens need to be connected to understand what's happening in the city, to work with that. And the city needs to be taking care of us, not healthcare, but social care. Make sure that we are connected, that we can connect, that we can participate. So the digital divide, closing the digital divide, is an important element of the governance focus points of a city, using the data. So in a nutshell, this wheel, all the elements in the wheel are interconnected. So it's not possible just to create a smart city with only focus on transport or smart parking or whatever. It's not helping us. Looking at cities, the digital twin discussed with buildings is very much needed here. You can look at the physical world on one building, you can look at the physical world of the entire city, but at building a digital twin, as we are now working with research companies to create a digital twin for analysis of impact of traffic on city life, where we can measure environmental data, set up thresholds, and understand what the impact is. So to analyze the traffic at that moment, change the traffic light system model, that analytics needs to be done in seconds. Normally, the traffic model analytics takes a few days. We have come to an AI solution based on the digital twin with high power compute that we can run this in a few seconds. So then we can push different traffic settings through the city to reduce traffic, to block traffic, to reduce speed. And if we take into account the weather conditions, we could calculate the time it takes to recover from a high amount of local emissions, or maybe temperatures that go up. These buildings in this physical world, it's also important in the physiological city, because new buildings, new high-rise buildings, we've seen the example in London where glass windows were reflecting sun beams, melting parts of a car that was parked in front of it. If we design a city, we can understand the impact of the building, the reflection rate of sound, the absorption rate of sound, or the absorption possibility of carbon dioxide, or how we can make that natural cooling optimized by maybe even dynamic buildings or well-shaped buildings. That's an important element of creating the city and using digital twin to tackle the urban issues. These buildings, however, the change is there. We have a 24/7 economy, and still we have office buildings that are open from 5 to 7 to 9. In some cities in UK, or Scotland, I should say, Glasgow, they're looking into how social use of that same building can be offered from in the evenings. Universities are open 24/7, not just for students, but also for others to use the building. It comes with challenges on security and how to have access control of that, but it's there. These buildings should offer changing positions for logistics. Not every truck has to go all the way into the city. It could be pickup points, it could be transfer points, it could be something. And of course, buildings have a function of iconic recognitions, but it does not mean that every company has to own a building. You put your name on it, or you have a design aspect of it, that makes a city. We know that, but it's very important. But the physiological aspects of buildings, as I mentioned with the digital twin, these are the more important things what we can do. And also part in greening the city. How can we create blue blue buildings or green buildings? How can we make that work to store water where we need it, to make more green available in the city because we need it? What I studied, there's a research done already many years ago on how to use natural flow of air to cool cities. And we seem to lost that. We try to maximize the square meters that we can use in the city, but we should reconfigure the cities to use the natural flow of air and get cooling in there. It's saving energy, it's creating a better environment, and it's good for all of us. Also for biodiversity in the cities that express the quality of the environment. So the digital twin is truly something that we do on physical worlds, impacting on the physiological world, but it also should help us to understand the impact in the social and in the healthy world. Because health-related issues come with social aspects of neighborhoods in cities, and how we can understand what is the relationship between these two, so we can help cities, so we can help citizens, and maybe even have cities and citizens to participate in healthy lifestyles options. We're doing some research on this with the city of Eindhoven at the moment. I'm not saying we're there yet, but Philips Medical is interested to use their knowledge in AI to understand how we can help individual citizens. The dynamic city, I already touched on that. And this is one strong point that we want to further develop this year. And we need collaboration with cities. We need participation of partners and work with cities to create the standards we need. Because we can start measuring data, understand what's happening. Yes, we can control traffic lights, but automatically change traffic lights into system into new settings is not easy. We're nearly there yet. We've got all the building blocks available, and we're now building this model with some German cities to do this. But once we've done that, the next question is how to prioritize, how to maximize or minimize, whatever word you want to use here, in containerized transport, how we can secure cargo when entering a city. I mean, if you order something online, we all know it takes 1.8 attempts to deliver it at your doorstep still. And about 80% of the goods that we order online is going to trash because we return it and it cannot be resold. There's a lot we don't know. But if we can optimize this whole flow of data and whole flow of goods, it will help us better understand what the impact is of our daily choices. So it's the whole system should be a citizen-centric approach to mobility in the city. This also comes with a downside. If we use data and in a personal matter, we use the data and access the data based on, let's say, our vulnerabilities. We share personal data. So the importance here is that we can secure personal data and allow people to touch their own data, maybe even remove it when they don't want it. We should not store personal data when not needed. And one element I'm researching at the moment within Atos is to see if we can build an edge network in our communication network, meaning that we do not have to access the data or store personal data somewhere in the cloud. Our mobile device is acting as an edge point in the whole network. So we keep our personal data on our personal device, access the data we need, and use our smartphone to do the analytics and build the information that we need. We're not, again, this is research, it's the future, but we need to make sure that we use the data with respect for our own vulnerabilities and privacy. But the mobility challenges, we all know them. Carbon dioxide, the emissions, nitrogen, CO, the PMs. But if we build this multimodal infrastructure like we do in Malaga, getting connected to all mobility offerings that are available and access it based on our own personal profiles, it's us, citizens, that run the decarbonization or the lowering reducing the emissions in cities. Reduction of traffic will help create safe travels. And again, here, it's the mindset of us that needs to change and how we can do this. So platforms to treat the data It's right time, need to be ready, available, scalable. It has to be designed for cities or regions, at least at scale. Working with cities across region, or maybe even across nations. Because if we develop a technology to connect it to a city data platform from any type of car produced in a certain city in a country, it has no meaning if that doesn't work in other cities. So these are the standards and the interoperability mechanism we need, and a platform needs to be designed for mobility. Bear in mind, I showed you the way. It's not just mobility, it's the part of the mobility that works as part of the entire system here. But if we want to do this specifically for traffic and emission monitoring, we need to make sure that we understand what traffic means. So building this up from any kind of hosted environment, cloud, we need to bring in edge as a secured environment security. We need to put it in our urban strategy model. It's a digital twin for simulation and analytics. Then you have your urban data, and then you run your ITS or your emission schemes or whatever you want to put in there. You need software to do this and be technology agnostic. The social city, it means, again, and I know I'm repeating myself, but information should be there, right time, available, when we need it, where we need it, in a way that we decide to access that data, but it has to be secured and allow us for personalized use. So with that, we are strong believers, and we work very hard to create more standards, make sure that we have an agreement on who's going to work with cities. So the contribution we made for the Dutch Smart City Standard, I think it's of great value. We are proud that we work with the OESC on the interoperability mechanism. Jan Joost and my team is collaborating. He presented this morning on that. And from the Fiverr Foundation, we see the data models coming, and we need more of that for types of use cases. But more important, we have to share our stories. We should not sit on what we have invented. We should share it and make sure that others can benefit from it, so we can leapfrog into the future at speed. So I'm proud to become a member and be a member of the Open Agile Smart Cities, and looking forward to discuss with you if there is any question.
Thank you, Albert, for that presentation. We'd like to invite you for future events that we're planning throughout the year. And thank you so much for your time. We'll give a couple of minutes until the next Get Practical With session. So please stay with us. Thank you, Albert. Talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Jeannie. Talk soon. Bye.